I'm back with some more Bannerlord, and today I'm going to be taking a look at another mod. This one is called the Remnants of Endoria, and what it does is it adds a new culture to the game with its own custom troop tree, and it's inspired by the mod Prophecy of Pendor for Warband, if you've ever heard of it. If you haven't, it's a pretty big overhaul mod that was one of the most popular ones on Warband. But let's jump in and take a look at this mod. So here we can see in the list of cultures in the game, we have this new Andorian culture. And if we open it up, it has its own troops. It's split into two main troop trees, similar to other factions where you have the main recruit, which is the main troop, which usually goes into your range, your cavalry, basic troops basically. And then you have the noble line, which is the better tiered troops. So we're taking a look at the recruit troop tree here. And you can see it splits off into an infantry or ranged, and then as you go down the infantry line, you can split off into cavalry or stay as infantry. We'll take a look at the ranged tree first, since it's the small one. Get her over and done with. So you can see, very basic bowman, very simple armor, and then it upgrades into a heavy bowman. The armor turns into chainmail. You have some different equipment, but pretty bog standard armor. And then here we've got the armored bowman. Again, it's the bow with the one-handed sword. The armor's got a bit heavier. You can see we have the helmet. I'm pretty sure the helmet might be a new helmet. Don't think that's in base game. It also looks like the body as well is part of the mod. So that's it. It's a very simple ranged troop tree. And now if we take a look at the other side of the troop tree, here we've got the militia. It's pretty much an upgraded recruit. You can see again, it has the unique body armor that's new for this mod. Then we become a footman, which again, slightly heavier armored with the new body. And here you're given a choice then. You can go down the swordsman route, or you can go down the spearman route. If we take a look at the swordsman route, you can see the armor looks pretty good. It's got this kind of like leathery plating sort of look to it. The helmet, it's like a tin can. Helmet's looking like the very first Iron Man suit when he makes it in the cave. Dude's got that like Tin Man look on him. But you can see he has this lovely fine steel two-handed sword, which is actually a one-handed weapon. And then along with a custom shield. Next up we have the Manor Arms. So here we actually lose the shield and become a two-handed swordsman. With the bog standard iron broadsword. Again with the unique body armors, and you open the halberdier helmet similar to the ranged. And then we're given the choice then to become a blade master, or a bladesman and an arms master. I combined the two then. And it looks like we go back into a one-handed with a shield, or we become a halberdier. It's a bit interesting that you go from one-handed shield to losing the shield and becoming a two-handed, to losing the two-handed and becoming a halberdier, or going back to the one-handed shield. But if we take a look at the bladesman, you can see again it has a custom body armor. We also have the custom helmet. It doesn't quite look as much of a tin can as this guy's helmet, but it's not far off. Then the halberdier, again, the custom body armor, the helmet. This time it's essentially the closed version of the man at arms and the bowman's helmet, with your sword spear, which is a bit of an interesting weapon. Is it a sword? Is it a spear? Who knows? Is it a sword? Is it a spear? Well, it looks like it's also a bit of an axe. So then if we go back up here, then you got the footman. We can go into a spearman. Spearman's rocking the Tin Man hat with the custom armor. Then you can become a heavy spearman. Heavy spearman's rocking that like crusader style helmet with a long tipped spear, a shield, and again the custom armor. And then if you don't want to be a spearman, you got your cavalry. These cavalry, they come with a sword, a shield, a lance. And they're rocking that crusader look. Then we become a mounted Manor Arms. Again, the one-handed shield lancer with the custom armor. Although we're going to a halberdier helmet, an open halberdier helmet. Very interesting. And then we come back to the crusader style helmet. Although this guy is heavily plated compared to the Endoria cavalry. Even has some gold trim on the helmet. You can tell he's the one to watch. And again, rocking the custom armor. So here we have the noble troop tree now. This is where I was on about. This is your more higher tier unit. We actually come with some archers here. So we have a noble bowman. It just looks like a slightly heavier version of the other bowman. Its stats are probably better. And then we have the black archer. But again, you can see it's a heavily armored and a better upgraded version of the recruit bow that you could become. And then on the other side, the nobleman can become a squire. The squire is just your bog standard cavalry, kind of heavily armored with a lance, one-handed shield. Then we can actually become a foot knight with a two-handed sword. So this would be similar to the two-handed unit from the other troop tree, but this one is way more armored. I'm not a fan of the cape. Because of the clipping on the armor, cape kind of ruins it a little bit. With the clipping. Although I suppose on the back it does look like it comes out fine. So it's not too bad. And in the rush of battle, you're probably not going to notice it. And then on the other side then, we have the Andorian Knight. Which looks similar to the Foot Knight. For his cavalry. And then we have the Knight of the Griffo Order. With the gold armor. The fancy helmet. Even the fancy horse. Just comes with a lance and shield. So with these bad boys, kill their horse and they're pretty much a goner. They're not going to do much on foot with a lance like that. But you can see, very heavily armored. Pretty cool looking. It's a bit interesting when you get troop trees like these, where you can go from a cavalry to an archer, or go from a cavalry to an infantry. I like troop trees that kind of separate them off in 3 distinct lines. So once you become that first cavalry, there's no going back. I like to stick with the cavalry troop tree, then an infantry troop tree, because I find it a bit weird that, so if I want these foot knights, I have to go through the effort of making a cavalry army first, then abandoning the cavalry and making an army of foot knights. It's always a little bit odd when you've got something like that. When you ditch the horse, but I mean, that might just be my personal preference. So at the moment, the way this mod works is, built into the mod is a culture changer. And what that will do is, over time, villages and cities around the map will start to adopt the Endorian culture. And as they do, you can then recruit them. So in the beginning, you might not find any troops. But then as time progresses, you might notice more and more villages you can recruit those troops at. I would have liked to have seen maybe a new custom area, or convert some of these pre-game. When you start, that kingdom is there or something, or that culture's already in place. That would have been nice, rather than wait over time for one of these to be overwritten. But then if you've selected the Endorian culture in the beginning in your character creation, when you create your own kingdom, then you should be able to recruit your own Endorian troops from your kingdom. That's just a quick look into the Remnants of Endoria mod. I thought it was a pretty cool mod, and basing it on the Prophecy of Pendor, which was a really fun mod to play in Warband. So I thought I'd check this out. The units don't look too bad, and it's a nice little addition to the base game. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, see ya!